Okay, so good morning everybody. Thank you for joining us again, and it is my job or my pleasure to give you an update of where we are on Dave's boat. Boy, my memory's getting better with old age. Isn't that fantastic? So it's the update on Dave's boat. It's been an extremely busy week. Milliken's boat has been in the shop and getting ready for this coming season and all the trials and tribulations and things that go along with that. I will be putting out a video. Yesterday was I don't know, yesterday we had some I guess OEM wiring issues that we're getting to the bottom of, or got to the bottom of, and hopefully we have it solved. We have a part on the way in, but that has taken away from some of the things we need to get doing. In Ben's defense, he booked this boat in, I believe, in September of last year, maybe even earlier, but it was pretty early in the year that he told us the boat was coming. But anyway, enough about Ben's boat. Let's talk about this boat. So as you can see, we have done a tremendous job, or the guys have done a tremendous job of getting all the glue off of here and getting it ready for us to do the repairs. I like to get the glue and everything out of the way because that stuff is just nasty to work with. It's just nasty to be around and get stuck to your clothes and stuff. So Christian did an awesome job on that. Very happy with the results. Yes, there are some gouge marks, but by the time we get through with them, you will not see them and it won't affect anything. As you can see here, we've got this repair. We was hoping to have this repair done for this video, and this video is being done really late. But like I said, just like a lot of things that happen in life, it doesn't always go to plan. So, but we have got the pieces for up under here. These have obviously all, before you'll get on your keyboards, just give me a minute, all right? These have all got to be epoxied. You've seen us do it before. If you haven't, go back and check some of the older videos. These all have to be epoxied on all sides, and then they will be bonded in. We also have the piece for this, which is over there, which I'm not going to waste my time. It's a piece of wood. I mean, come on, for crying out loud. So that is going to be epoxied. We're having a little bit of problem with cold weather here in Houston right now, and it's going to be cold for a few days. And those of you that have worked with epoxies and stuff, know that they do not work well in extreme weather conditions, either extreme cold or extreme heat. So we might have to take that home and do it in the garage where we can control the temperature a little bit better. We was hoping, this video is going to be a lot of hoping and not a whole lot of doing. I was hoping to have got over here and filled all these holes, but that has not happened because we were troubleshooting Ben's boat. So we will be putting this in by next week. This will be in, and hopefully we will have this back down. We have to make some modifications to this. We're either going to bond a piece over the top or modify this, whatever's easiest at the time, to get this piece back in here. It has to have a different seating mount, so we're not going exactly back the way it was. I think Michael already covered that, but I want to kind of fill you in on that. On that note, some people have commented about the lack of personal protection equipment, and it is, I got on Michael and I got on the guys. They know better and they should wear it. When I started out, that stuff was not available to you, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I mean, there for the longest time we didn't wear safety. I did shop in England and we didn't have safety glasses. That's no excuse, but especially you younger guys and what have you, get used to wearing that equipment, get used to wearing your gloves, get used to wearing your masks, all of those type of things. You know, we have them. But for some reason they chose not to wear them, and it's always that, like, you're just going to run over to the store and you're not going to put your seatbelt on, and that's when you have a problem. So enough on that, but yes, I appreciate the comments, and we own up to our mistakes and things we do wrong. Obviously down here, I have been doing some sketching and stuff on what we're going to do down here. I was hoping to have this cut out, or at least cut out the foam board and what have you, and then the foam board is pretty easy, but I wanted to do the cardboard aided design for the top and do the lid situation. It might seem a little bit extreme, but I've been on both ends of this with the other boats that we've done. Stuff that, you know, you think you get figure out in your head, but when it actually comes time to implement it, it doesn't necessarily work. So the extra little bit of time to cut things out of cardboard, you know, say this is where it's going to be, this is where our hinges are going to be, this is the thicknesses of the flange, all of those kind of things will make a big difference. One of the things that we learnt on Michael's boat over here is the width of this. It's critical to get the width of that correctly. We were a little bit narrow. It will work, but we really need a little bit more space in there. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind. The guys have done an absolute awesome job of getting this all cleaned out. I think this area back here is really, really good. This is cleaned up very, very nicely. We've obviously removed every single thing out of here. This is going to be painted white. I like the way they do the new boats with the kind of white with that speckled grey stuff in it. I think it will look real good. The reason why I like it a lighter color is that when you're working back here and you have a flashlight, if you have a light color, it helps reflect. If you're back here and you're out on the water or whatever, it's usually because there's a problem or you're checking something. So especially, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I was going off on the size of the graphs that are not allowed on boats anymore, and I said, oh, well, I think that's discrimination against old people like myself. When I was younger, my vision was perfect. You know, I could have had a graph that big and saw it with no problems at all. Nowadays, if I have a 36-inch graph, I still can't see anything. So, but it's kind of an inside joke here between me and the guys in regards to the size of graphs. But light is important, and we will have this lit up correctly. I think you're going to be very impressed with what the guys are going to do back here in regards to when this is all finished. I think it's going to really add to the boat. It's going to really make it easier to work on and easier to maintain, and that's what this project is all about. Ben was pretty impressed with this thing when he was in here. He was, you know, he spent quite a bit of time talking with Michael about it and stuff. So the plans are going ahead with this this coming week. We have some issues. Okay, let me get my excuses in for next week's video. It's going to be very cold for Houston and potentially snowy, and Houston does not do well in that. We are not set up for the cold, and we are definitely not set up for snow and ice. It will bring this city to a screeching halt if that happens. I personally hope it doesn't happen, but Michael has changed up the work situation for this coming week and shifted guys to work in the weekend so we don't lose hours, they don't lose hours, and that way we don't have the guys out on the roads with potential snow and ice. And I know that you guys that live up north are going, oh yeah, yada yada yada. Well, it's just the same way in England. I drove through that crap for years, but when you are set up for it and your vehicles are set up for it and the city is set up for it, it's completely different than when Houston gets something like this, because quite honestly, we're not. It happens once every few years for a couple of days, and we just have to kind of deal with it.
I heard something that, like, we're one of the only, like, Texas is one of the only places that has overpasses like we do, like huge overpasses, and Houston has like the biggest overpasses, and that's why, like, you can't get here without driving over like a couple 100 feet in the air.
That's true. If you go to Google Earth and check the Beltway overpasses and stuff, you're going to see some pretty big overpasses and stuff. And obviously the problem is if it rains and the wind blowing over underneath, then it freezes up. But,
what?
So, do you all mind I'm making a video? So,
give this. He says interstate. Give this.
So, our interstate battery guy is here. So, he's got to switch out some batteries for us. So anyway, I'm not quite sure where we're going to be at on this next week. I really hope that we get this in up here and that we get this at least mocked up, so we can go hardcore on that. I think overall it's looking really good. You know, I was stressed about this a few weeks ago. I'm not as stressed as I was about it, but we have a long way to go. More and more parts are arriving for it, and so it will start to come together.
Hey.
So the guys are going to be removing the fenders, and the reason why we're going to be this is basically the same as up here. So they're going to be taking the fenders off so we can do the repairs on them and then practice some of the painting that we're going to have to do. I know I've covered this before, but we have to get the right combination of primer and top coat to where this does not bleed through. So, you know, that's one of the big problems we have, or not necessarily a big problem, but we want to kind of be sure that we don't get no bleed through after we get it all sanded, primed, and then the top coat on it. We've been warned about it by the paint guy. He's given us a couple of options and told us to try both. Both may work. One may work, one may not work, or they both may not work, and we'll have to revisit with him based on the results of what we get there. That's what they do for a living. Michael and I have talked about this. We may do all the prep work, get it ready to go, and then run it over to them to have them actually shoot the paint on it in their booth. We will have to shoot this in a booth. If not, that paint will go absolutely everywhere, and we don't want to deal with any of that. So we also have got to do a repair on this up in here. This is another failure place on these old boats. It was the same on the first one we did, it's the same on the second one we did. So you have to cut this all out. We have to determine what gauges we're going to use, and then I like Michael's idea, we're going to cut this out in a certain place. We will bond a new piece of marine grade wood and stuff in there, etc., and then make sure we have all the right holes. We are talking to Dave right now, and about changing the steering to hydraulic steering, or what I would say is power steering, but you'll call it hydraulic steering. The first boat that we did not have hydraulic steering on it, and while it worked well, it is really scary when you're used to driving a boat with what I call power steering or hydraulic steering. So I talked to Michael talked to Dave, and I really hope that Dave will consider switching to hydraulic. It'll make things easier on him and make things a lot more pleasurable to drive this thing. I'm not saying it's not, but I get the impression that Dave's some semi-young guy like myself, and that will really help him out in regards to just having some fun out on the water with this. So as you can see, we have the materials here, and we will be getting really into the nitty-gritty on this. I just hope that the weather doesn't mess us up too bad next week. If it does, we'll have to work around it, but hopefully by next week's video you will see even more progress from where we are right now. You can hear the stuff in the background, and that, I believe, is Christian moving the fenders on the other side of the boat. So work progresses on. We'll probably get all the fenders off, and then we'll snap some pictures and they will post them and stuff. So that's the update. I think the guys have done an awesome job. I think Christian's done an awesome job, and Kyler, I always get Kyler's name wrong. I don't know if it's Kyler, Tyler, or whatever, but the other one. Anyway, if you would like, share, subscribe. If you comment, please be kind, okay? It doesn't take 2 seconds to be nice to somebody, and we all make mistakes, so thank you for your time.